right. Hello, everybody. Welcome to TAPED Crusaders, the podcast that reviews every single superhero TV show and movie ever made. I'm your co-host, Mike L, and as always, I'm joined by Bex Luthor.
It's me. I'm here.
Okay, so we have come full circle in a way because we are about to review the first movie ever reviewed on Comic Book Syndicate, and that's Ghost Rider, starring Nicolas Cage. Yes.
I'm so excited. I'm so excited to talk about a movie that some people like.
Very few people, but we are very dedicated to this film. We who love it. Now, it's funny because for a movie buff, I actually don't have a lot of Blu-rays, but I do have this on Blu-ray.
Only the best.
I'm not kidding. This might be the only Marvel films I've ever bought are the Tobey Maguire Spider-Mans and this. I think that's it. Ever. Now, granted, I would buy Guardians of the Galaxy, but I figure it's on Disney, so I buy it. But this I own on Blu-ray. Of course, I can't find my copy, so I had to buy it again on streaming. So now I own it twice.
Yeah.
Anyway.
How much do you think Nicolas Cage got from me and you both buying this movie for?
Oh yeah, maybe a nickel.
$5.99. You know what?
Something like that.
For Nicolas Cage, I like that. Good for him.
So, what's your deal with this movie? What's your history with it?
So I watched it in high school. I don't know. I don't think I saw it in theaters. I think I saw it after.
Yeah, 2007, right?
Yeah. So definitely teenage me. I remember not liking it.
Okay.
But also I didn't like a lot of these early Marvel movies because I was a shitty teenager and I thought I knew better. I was like, this isn't my comic books, blah, blah, blah. I was like, not understanding the word adaptation.
Sure.
Because I liked Spider-Man, but I hated Daredevil, and I was right about that. And Electro ended up being good. I'm torn on this movie. There are parts of it that I really, really liked.
True.
And there are parts of it, like some of the dialogue, that I was like, right, 2007 Marvel movie.
Well, I think the first clue is, did you notice who the writer-director was?
Same guy who did Daredevil, right?
Exactly. So either this had a rewrite by a different writer, which I think it did, or Daredevil was just studio interference. But I think whenever this movie focused on Mephistopheles or Blackheart or special effects, it was equal to Daredevil. But whenever it focused on Johnny Blaze and Roxanne Simpson, it was good. Right? Well,
Nicolas Cage is at his Nicolas Cageiest in this movie. Mm-hmm. And he's actually really well cast for the Johnny Blaze that they went with. This like weird man-child doesn't want to grow up Daredevil kind of, not Daredevil, but Daredevil.
Yeah.
Kind of guy. And it really works for the tone. The tone of the movie is good, actually. It's like just absurd enough, but also a little set in realism that I'm like, I'm in it the whole time. Whereas when we were watching Daredevil, I was like, this is ridiculous.
Yeah. You know, that's the thing. Even like the parts with Ghost Rider that were cheesy, it still worked. It's like they were having way more fun with his voice and the skull. And, you know, like whenever he's driving down the street, things are exploding and catching on fire. Like it was ridiculous. But like I said, these early superhero films, early 2000s superhero films, are more like a cheap horror franchise than a respectable franchise. And in Nightmare on Elm Street, some of them are good, some of them are bad, but they're always having fun. And I feel like this movie was having fun whenever he was Ghost Rider.
It gave me like the Fantastic Four vibes when they were like, some people genuinely enjoyed making this, and you can kind of tell. Like, I think Nicolas Cage was having an absolute blast wearing that leather jacket the whole time. And honestly, I loved some of the special effects. Some of it, it's 2007, and what was the budget on this movie? Ooh, 110 million. Okay. But some of it wasn't bad. Some of it was cool. And sometimes some of like the demons were kind of scary.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I would have loved to have seen if this could have been like more of a rated R kind of a movie.
Sure.
I think that could have done really well for the character of like all these demons and hell and hellfire and all that shit. But I don't know, it was a good time. And I don't think it deserves some of the hate that it gets. Daredevil definitely did, but this one is charming.
Well, I want to talk about a few moments for me this is what made me love this movie, okay? The first scene was when Johnny Blaze is riding his motorcycle down the highway trying to get Roxanne's attention. Like when he's pulling up beside her and then coming back and then coming around the other side. At least that was fun, right?
I mean, like such a kooky dude.
Right. And I guess in a way you could say that parallels the Daredevil and Elektra scene in the playground, except the scene in Daredevil was idiotic. And this scene was like charming and funny. Right?
In Daredevil, none of the like it was very awkward. But in this scene, you've already established that Johnny Blaze is kind of a weirdo. He's like a weird adrenaline junkie. Like it's set up that this is something he would do, and you can clearly see that Roxanne's enjoying it. Is the other thing. She's not like miserable. She still likes him.
And that's the thing is she comes off very authentic, and so they have a really good chemistry. I feel like they're a great couple in this movie. What do you think?
I would have never put it together myself, Nicolas Cage and Eva Mendes, who, by the way, very distracting in this movie. Eva Mendes, like top 10 most beautiful people in the world.
She's up there, and you know who she's married to, right?
Gosling, right?
Yeah, Ryan Gosling. Isn't that crazy?
Which,
anyway.
You know what? Beautiful couple. That's fair.
There you go. Yeah, he deserves her.
There's like the scene where Johnny first sees her as an adult, like they haven't seen each other in a while, and she's like being shadowboxed by the stadium, and it's just like giving her angel wings and a halo and everything. And I was like, that's awful, and I love it.
Yeah, why not, right?
So cheesy, but it was so fun, and she's always wearing the little cross, and it's like, I'm like, we don't need to be subtle with our metaphors here.
Exactly.
It's Ghost Rider. He's flaming skeleton on a motorcycle. You're just supposed to go, this is cool.
I agree.
Some things are just fun.
I agree. Another moment I loved. This was, I think, the point where I realized I loved the movie. Was where they were waiting. The stadium is all ready for him to come out. They're blasting this kind of like hard rock, and everyone's screaming and cheering, and it hard cuts to him standing by the mirror listening to the Carpenters. That was fucking awesome. I love that. I screamed laughing in the theater. And then the other guy comes in and he grabs the pot of coffee while it's steaming hot and just guzzles the whole thing. Like, I love that, right?
Well, it's just like little subtle things that's like, this guy isn't like, oh, I'm so weird. He's just weird. He's just an odd man. But also like those little things like the hot coffee, like if you like look in the movie, the heat doesn't ever bother him. Right. Good point. And I'm like, that's cool. Good touch.
Yep. It's smart. And that's the thing. Even if the plot is not genius, those little moments are what make you like the movie, what like the characters, right? So, and this movie's got plenty. Okay, I want to name two more. I think there's two more. Maybe there's one more. There's two more.
Yeah.
You remember the goth girl? That
Rebel Wilson?
Is that I don't know who that is. Who is she?
She's an Australian actress. She was in Pitch Perfect, like all the Pitch Perfects.
Okay.
I think if you Googled her, you'd know her, but like she was not famous yet.
Wow. Okay. When they interview her and she's talking, first of all, she's already funny, but then when the interview's done and Eva Mendes walks off and she's like this, I was like, this is awesome. Like, that's, again, the editor could have cut that out, but they left it in because it's funny. And those endearing moments are what make a movie like this, I think, right?
There were so many little moments that were funny. And they were just like, clearly like the actor just thought it'd be funny. And they were right, it's funny. And it just adds so much to the universe. These people feel like they're real. And like, even though she's only in a couple scenes, she feels developed. Like, she's got a whole personality.
100%. Yeah. Like, I don't remember what she said, but she was really funny when she was doing it. Yeah. And then, okay, then there was one other moment that I thought was brilliant. When Eva Mendes is at dinner in the restaurant and she's waiting for Johnny Blaze and Johnny Blaze never shows up. And you remember she keeps telling the waiter to pour more wine and she's like guzzling it. And then at one point she's half in the bag and she grabs the waiter and she says, "You think I'm pretty, right?" And he goes, and he just walks away. I love that, right? It's great.
I love the idea that in this universe, Eva Mendes is not just the most stunning thing you've ever seen. But it's funny because she's also weird. Like she's not just like the pretty girl. She has a kooky personality too. Like she falls in love with a carny, and she's kind of an off character. Like she's weird. Yep. She's not just your regular, "Oh, save me, Ghost Rider, I'm your girlfriend." Agreed. She has a career. She is like consistently like turmoil. She's like, "I'm over this guy that I dated in high school," and then she sees him again for the first time and she's immediately not over him, and I'm like, girl, I get it. I mean, I don't personally get why whatever, but like
right,
I understand. There's just so many like little character moments in this movie where they clearly like fledged people out. Even like the Johnny Blaze's like his stunt crew, they're all weird too.
Yeah, right. And they all have personalities. Yeah,
they're all like, there's like 5 of them in the bus, and they're all like different. It reminded me again of when we saw Superman Returns and there was 18 goons and they were just the same guy copy pasted.
Yep. 100%. Well, I just want to say, there's one more moment I want to talk about. When Eva Mendes, like when Johnny Blaze sits her down and is like, "I got to tell you what's going on." And he's like, "The problem is I sold my soul to the devil," and whatever he says. And she's like, "Okay. And you such and such," and he's like, "Yeah, on account that I sold my soul to the devil," or whatever he says. But that whole scene is so authentic. It's exactly how that conversation would go in real life, right?
It's so, they're both just so straight. They're like, "Okay, and he's like, "And then I sold my soul to the devil," and she goes, and then now I fire everywhere.
Yeah, right.
Okay, and then she like stands up. She's like, "So here's what's gonna happen. Yeah. We're gonna go to the mental hospital, or I'm leaving."
I love that. Yeah, it was great. So let's talk about some of these other actors. Obviously, we both love Nicolas Cage and Eva Mendes.
He drinks jelly beans out of a martini glass.
Yeah.
Like the metaphor for him never growing up couldn't be stronger. And he's like, "Oh, I don't want alcohol. Got my jelly beans." What a weird man.
Another quirk, exactly, right? Or
like when he's trying to have a serious conversation, when his friend's trying to have a serious conversation with him, and he's like just full mouth giggling at cartoons on the TV.
Yes, you're right. Now that I think about it, there's like more characterization for him than just about any other superhero movie I think we've watched so far, right?
Yeah. He's like, and I'm not as familiar with Ghost Rider in the comics. I don't think he's a weirdo.
No, I don't think he's really much like this. No, he's like a Daredevil, but that's it.
Yeah, I think he's a very serious man.
Yeah.
But this is fun.
It was a lot of, that's why I love it. That's why I bought it, right? I want to mention one of his buddies. Just a minute here. Denal Lag. Do you know who he is? Because he played another particularly famous role in another superhero show.
I don't know.
He played Harvey Bullock in Gotham.
Oh shit! I was wondering how I knew him.
Yeah,
because I watched lots of Gotham, which we could definitely review the pilot for this one day.
Sure.
I liked him. I liked how he was like a manager and a friend and that kind of stuff. What I didn't like is at the end of the movie, he dies.
Yeah, that seemed unnecessary. Like, I know that they wanted the shock value, but yeah, they could have picked another guy, right?
But like, not only does he die, but he and Eva Mendes are in Johnny Blaze's apartment, and when Blackheart shows up and he's like, he kills his friend and not Eva Mendes to use her for a collateral or whatever. When Johnny Blaze shows up to his apartment, he's like, "Max, and then just steps over his dead body and goes, "Oh my God, Roxanne!" And then
I know.
never spoken of him again.
Yeah, that was a rare moment in the movie where it's like they forgot kind of what they were doing. Yeah, that was a little awkward.
Yeah, I very much was like, this, they've established this friendship and relationship, and I don't like that they've forgotten it.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe something got cut. I don't know. It was just very awkward. But I did like him.
Yeah, he was good. He was definitely good. He was good for that role. Okay, so then... Oh, go ahead.
There's two other main guys, right? We've got our main bad guy and the devil.
So let's talk about Mephisto / Mephistopheles, yes.
Which is his full legal maiden name.
Right, yeah, yes.
Mephisto in the comics.
Yes. Originally, one thing I didn't know until I went back and read the comics is originally it actually was the devil.
It was just the devil.
Yeah, then they changed it to Mephisto.
A lot of Marvel comics originally, like older, it was just the devil, and then to try to kind of like separate it from Catholicism and like actual religion, they made all these other demons that exist in the Marvel universe. It's kind of like how in DC they have Lucifer,
yes,
but then they also have other demons.
Yes, they split the devil. Yeah,
sometimes it's just the devil, but sometimes it's Mephisto, and for all intents and purposes, Mephisto is the devil for Marvel Universe. He's got the devil's abilities, at least, if maybe a little bit more magical than like a Catholic Christian devil.
Now, the funny thing about Mephisto is I kind of forgot, because I haven't seen which show is he Mephisto is played by Sacha Baron Cohen in, what is it?
Ironheart.
Ironheart. Okay, have you seen that?
No, I have not yet.
Me neither. But I completely forgot that Peter Fonda was Mephisto. So technically, Sacha Baron Cohen's the second Mephisto. I just forgot.
Yeah, I'd say that this version of Mephisto for this movie is just the devil, though.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
He's the devil, and his son is the devil's son.
Right.
He is not really Blackheart.
So, did you like Peter Fonda?
He was fine.
Yeah.
Not my favorite adaptation of the devil. Definitely played a decent enough role. I did really enjoy when he was with the younger Johnny Blaze. I thought those scenes were really good. When he tricks him into curing his father's cancer and then just killing him anyway. Mm-hmm. I was like, oh, damn.
Yeah, that was good, yep.
But obviously, for me at least, Constantine's Peter Stormare is like my top comic book devil adaptation.
Okay, from the movie we saw, yes.
Yeah, from Constantine.
Okay.
That version of the devil is still one of my top tiers. So this version was fine.
Yeah, no, Peter Fonda is a good actor, but he only got the role, I assume, because he was an Easy Rider, all about motorcycles, right? Mm-hmm. So, but yeah, he was fine. And it was good to have him in there for like the old timers. They could appreciate that he was in this movie because he doesn't do much. So when he shows up, it's kind of a treat, you know?
Yeah, and he's like intimidating enough. He's the devil.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It works.
Then we have Wes Bentley as Blackheart.
Bad.
You didn't like him?
No.
I thought he was good. I really like that actor.
Oh, I like him too. He's in Hunger Games.
Well, I like him from American Beauty and a few other things.
Right, yeah. But I know him best from Hunger Games because I'm a teenage girl.
So why didn't you like him as Blackheart?
I thought he was boring.
Really?
I thought he was very one note. Okay. I didn't think he was very... They should have... Blackheart in the comics is a big freaking monster man. Make him a big monster man. Cowards. I
do agree. At least he should have transformed into the monster, so we saw his true appearance at one point, right?
Yes, I would have loved that.
I agree.
If instead of there were times when they like did the CGI like scary face on him, and I did like that. It was pretty like spooky, but I thought as a villain he wasn't very intimidating, and very like I'm evil.
Right.
It was the bad guy in the Ghost Rider movie for me, and that's fine.
See, I think if I were to do a rewrite of this movie, it was a little bit not confusing, but a little bit messy that they had Mephisto and Blackheart. Like, maybe it should have just been Mephisto. I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, or it could have just been Blackheart, or like the early parts of the movie where he sells his soul to Mephisto can be Mephisto, and then it's Blackheart in the later halves of the movie, so that it's not like whatever.
because you're kind of wondering, wait, what's going on? Why are they arguing? Why are they fighting? Father and son? I don't know.
Yeah, I think there should have been more establishing. There was like no scenes with Blackheart and Mephisto to establish that like he just goes, "That's my dad, and I hate him," and I'm like, "Cool, understandable," but like, why?
Right.
And if you're gonna make that his main motivation, maybe show the audience a little bit.
I agree. They should have shown that. Yeah, that was a weakness in the script, a rare weakness in the script. Then we have Sam Elliott, the caretaker. I mean, he was perfect, I thought, right? What do you think?
He's the spooky graveyard man.
Yes.
And yeah, he's the spooky graveyard man.
Perfect.
I love the scenes with him and Johnny where he's like trying to explain to him and he's like, yeah, this is what's gonna happen, and like now you're like the devil's bodyguard and all this stuff, and Johnny's like, I do not give a shit, actually.
Right.
It like really works because he when you watch the end of the movie and you find out that he's the original Ghost Rider, you're like, oh, he knows that this kid isn't gonna believe him and all this shit. Like he knows what's gonna happen. But yeah, when he Ghost Rider's out, when he puts on a cowboy hat on the skeleton horse, top 10 coolest moments of my life, probably.
Okay, but I do have to point out, one thing. Don't you wish that would have been for like the final confrontation with Blackheart and his guys, instead of just, I'm going to ride in a straight line for 2 miles, then stop, and then be like, oh, that was my last time as Ghost Rider. I can never do it again. What did he accomplish there?
Talking about the aesthetic being the coolest thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, he should have come with regular Ghost Rider, sacrificed himself for the new Ghost Rider.
There you go.
Right? Like, if you're gonna have the guy be the last ride, he's got to go out with a bang. He's the guy who like tricked the devil.
Exactly. Yep. Yeah, that would have been a lot more climatic, right? If that was how it ended. Mm-hmm. Now,
but he's also... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, no, go ahead.
I was going to say he's also based on... Carter Slade is the original Ghost Rider that they retconned to be called the Phantom Rider, right?
Yes. So this is the interesting thing. Remember how we talked about Marvel Universe and how we both read it, and I read it as a kid all the way through. So it gets interesting because I didn't even know this until I did Comic Book Syndicate, but there was an original Ghost Rider published by another company. Do you know about that?
Yeah, it was before Marvel Comics I think they bought the rights to...
Well, I think it was public domain, so they just used it.
Oh, they just stole them.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Magazine Enterprises or something? I'm not sure.
I only know about like the Marvel Comics Ghost Rider.
I think it was the same artist, like Dick Ayers. I think he kind of like stole his own character. And then they gave him a different name, Carter Slade. But he didn't have the flaming skull, right? He was just white mask, cowboy hat, and it was like he had no powers. I think he just had like what is that, phosphoric or phosphorance or whatever that's called, so we could glow in the dark. But it was a very 1950s type character with no actual supernatural powers, right?
He was just a cowboy.
Yes, and I believe this movie is the first one to show Carter Slade with the flaming skull. I could be wrong, but I think so.
I don't know if he's currently, but I do know that in the comics, at least some point, Johnny Blaze goes back in time and interacts with him. And I don't know if he's fire, but maybe since the movie, it's like a Blade thing, right? Where since the movie have adapted, because I have to look up the time frames for all that stuff.
Sure.
But since the movies, they've adapted and be like, yeah, because flaming cowboy on a skeleton horse is a fucking dope.
Very cool. Yes, I agree.
But yeah, they did not do anything with it in the movie, which is very sad.
Well, that's the thing is in the old days, like in the 70s, they're like, well, we can't have the old Ghost Rider. We got to rename him Phantom Rider. But the movie did it right. They're like, no, it's better if there's been a bunch of Ghost Riders. There was a cowboy one. Now there's a motorcycle one. That's much cooler, right?
And then as far as Marvel Comics is concerned, there's been like a bunch of Ghost Riders, right? Yeah.
Now there's been Danny Ketch and then Johnny Rise or whatever his name is. Johnny Reyes.
Johnny Reyes. There was a girl Ghost Rider for like a second, I think. But yeah, like the idea of the devil have multiple, like people sell their soul and he uses them. That makes a lot of sense instead of there just being like one Ghost Rider.
I agree.
But I think Johnny Blaze is the only Ghost Rider in the comics that is possessed by the spirit of vengeance.
Okay. Okay, I didn't know that.
Which is different because the spirit of vengeance is a different demon.
Okay.
Who hates Mephisto.
Isn't it Zarathos or something?
Yes, I was going to say, it starts with a Z, I know that much. But he's possessed by that demon, and that the spirit of vengeance is what, like, originally helps him separate from the devil. Right. Because they're two demons that hate each other. Okay. But, like, I know Robbie Reyes, the more modern Ghost Rider who has the car, he's possessed by the spirit of, like, his uncle or something who was a serial killer. Okay. Yeah, so, like, Ghost Riders can be possessed by different things, but they're still Ghost Riders.
I have read a handful. So how many of the classic comics have you read from the 70s?
Not a whole lot. Here and there. I'm more familiar with Ghost Rider in other, like, crossover kind of stuff.
So I actually liked it. The old stuff is really entertaining. There's some issues written by Steve Gerber. Then they also introduced Son of Satan in those early issues. So it's a pretty good run. I would check it out if you can.
Oh, I absolutely. The aesthetic alone always got me. Like he just looks cool.
Very cool.
As a teenager, it's hard to not be like, that's cool as hell.
Well, I bought the Danny Ketch Ghost Rider #1 right off the stands, like in 1990 or whatever. And then I remember I had the glow in the dark cover. Remember that? Ooh. Yeah.
They still do those sometimes. Oh, yeah. Of course.
Yeah. It's probably sold it for $1.
Yeah. Well, you know. What are you gonna do? Nicolas Cage didn't come back in Deadpool and Wolverine, so it probably would have still stayed $1.
Yeah, that's true. Which is a very notable absence, right?
They asked him. He said he declined.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
That is at least what the internet has told me. Has told me that he declined. I don't know why. It could have been a scheduling conflict. It could have been he's like, that is a past part of my life that I'm no longer. Sure. It could have been they just weren't giving him enough money. Right. He's like, do you know who I am? I'm Academy Award winner Nicolas Cage.
But he's also kind of desperate, I think. Like, he's doing a lot of crappy movies in the last 10 years, right? So.
Yeah, so there has to have been a reason. There must have been just a scheduling conflict, I'm sure.
It could have been, yeah.
Because I haven't seen anything where people are like, Nicolas Cage shits on new Marvel, right? Mm-hmm. Because, like, if Wesley Snipes can come back and work with Ryan Reynolds, who he hates, Nicolas Cage can come back.
Agree, 100%. But hey, maybe he'll come back in Avengers Doomsday, right?
Sure. Or they could just reboot Ghost Rider. I would also be fine with a new Ghost Rider. Oh, yeah,
of course. Me too. I hope they do a new Ghost Rider.
And they could do it, like, because this one was so very hyper-stylized in one way, if they did a reboot of Ghost Rider, it could feel fresh and new without feeling too samey. They could do a very serious Ghost Rider. But that's very, like, he's possessed by the demon, actually, because in this one he's not. Yeah. But...
So what?
It could go anyway.
Oh, so why do you think, like, despite the fact that this movie is definitely above average, why do you think audiences kind of dismissed it as being just as bad as Daredevil and Elektra and all those other movies?
It's cheesy, and I like it in retrospect. But if Marvel came out with this movie today, people would be fucking furious. People would lose their minds at the quality of this movie, just based on, like, the script and the story, because if it's not like the best thing you've ever seen, it's shit, according to the internet, right?
Yeah, that's true.
So in 2007, when we had good superhero movies, I feel like this one was maybe a little bit too cheesy for some people, especially if you're like a diehard Ghost Rider fan and you were expecting a more grounded, down to earth story. And then you find out Nicolas Cage is cast, and you're like, well, never fucking mind.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, I was not overly excited when Nicolas Cage was cast. I would have rather have seen, like, a Ryan Gosling type. You know what I mean? But
at least I would have made sense to why Eva Mendes was so obsessed with him.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because it's so funny to watch her be like, just so in love with this guy from my past. And I'm like, you're Eva Mendes.
I know.
Get over him.
Oh, by the way, there's got to be a couple things we didn't like. The one thing I didn't love was, and maybe this is a comic book thing, but the motorcycle transformed into this kind of skeleton thing. But in the Danny Ketch comics, it was more like an armored thing. Like, because you remember the old motorcycle was like a stunt motorcycle. Mm-hmm. The 90s one was like a Harley or something. But this movie one was kind of like a demon motorcycle. I don't know if I love that. They
go from just having the flame decals to it like fully transforming. And I found it was okay. I was like, at least didn't take me out of it. I'm like, the Hellfire is magic fire.
Right.
And then at the end, when his horse turns into a skeleton horse, it's like, so like that's the Ghost Rider power can transform your ride.
Yes.
Right? I liked how he got his chain. That's kind of cool.
You know, oh, wait. How was it again? I don't remember.
One of the bad guys used it on him, and he took it, and he choked him with it.
Yes, that's right.
And then he's I guess this is mine now.
And I like how it spun around his body every time he was finished using it. And then remember, he took the jacket from the other guy, and the spikes came out of the jacket. That was cool.
I liked that scene in the jail when he was surrounded by all these criminals, and he was like sweating because this Ghost Rider transforms when he's around sinful people. And so, like, there's one kid who clearly just, like, got caught up in something and wasn't a bad kid. Right. And then there's all these thugs and they attack him. And he's just, like, losing his mind, transforming into Ghost Rider. It was kind of grotesque when he turns. And I like that.
It should be. It should be, like, a mix of horror and superhero, right? Yeah.
Because he's turning into a flaming skeleton man from hell. It should probably be a little messed up.
Exactly. So here's the thing. I would love to keep talking, but both of us are on a time limit tonight, right?
Unfortunately, I have to go grocery shopping.
Yeah. So, I guess we should say, if you're watching this and you've seen every other superhero movie, we definitely recommend Ghost Rider, right?
Oh, it's up there, and especially as far as like 2010 and earlier. It's definitely one of the more watchable ones. I had a good time, at least.
There's a reason I bought it twice, right? So... Mm-hmm.
Yeah, give Nicolas Cage your money. He needs it.
Exactly. Unfortunately, Spirit of Vengeance is not as good, but we'll talk about that in a future episode, right?
Well, I did see we watched the trailer when we when we finished watching the movie, and what's unfortunate is it looks so much better visually.
Like the special effects are obviously better, but the story's not.
Yeah, we'll talk about it.
So, that being said...
Yeah, what are we actually talking about next time?
Next time...
I'm so scared.
This is a very timely review, Becca, and I think you're going to be happy about it.
Why?
We're going to review the original Masters of the Universe.
Oh my god.
I never know what your reaction is going to be.
Really?
Yeah.
I guess I never saw it.
Are you kidding? You've never seen it?
No.
Oh,
why would I was a gay child. Why would I watch so many burly, hunky men?
This is going to be a fun review. Trust me. Okay? So yeah, it's going to be an episode of Comic Book Syndicate because it doesn't quite fit in with Tape Crusaders, but be sure to join us next week. All of our episodes are available at comicbooksyndicate.com and youtube.com. I want to thank Bex Sluther for joining me again.
You're actually welcome this time.
Sweet. All right. And until the next time, see you later.
Bye.